The glass doors of Sterling Luxe swung open, and the tomb guard stepped into a world that didn't want him. His navy blue uniform was crisp, the purple hearts gleaming on his chest. But the customer's eyes cut sharper than the Chicago wind outside. Whispers followed snickers about a soldier out of place, a medal that must be fake. One saleswoman smirked loud enough for all to hear. "Wrong store, buddy." Ethan Cole didn't flinch, his gaze steady as stone. What no one in that glittering showroom knew, not the staff, not the sneering elite, was that the man they mocked had once stared down death in a desert half a world away. And before the day was done, a thief with a gun and a general with a secret would reveal the truth about the sentinel they dared to dismiss. Before we dive into the story, where are you watching from? Let us know in the comments. And if you believe that values like honor, courage, and sacrifice still matter, join us in keeping their legacy alive. The wind tore through Chicago's magnificent mile, whipping snowflakes into a frenzy that stung the faces of pedestrians hurrying along Michigan Avenue. It was a bitter afternoon, the kind of cold that seeped into your bones and made you question why anyone lived here. Inside Sterling Luxe, a jewelry store that gleamed like a beacon of wealth, chandeliers cast golden light across marble floors, polished to a mirror shine. Display cases sparkled with diamonds, sapphires, and gold, each piece a small fortune, prices whispered in hushed tones by customers in cashmere coats and tailored suits. The air was thick with the scent of expensive perfume, leather, and the faint metallic tang of polished jewelry. This was a world of privilege, a sanctuary for the elite, where the ordinary rarely dared to tread. Ethan Cole pushed through the heavy glass doors, his navy blue tomb guard uniform standing out like a shadow against the store's opulence. At 32, he carried himself with the quiet precision of a man who'd spent years standing watch at Arlington's Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. His kepi cap was tucked under his arm, his sunglasses clipped to his pocket, and a Purple Heart medal gleamed softly on his chest, his purple ribbon a stark contrast to the crisp blue of his uniform. His face was weathered, not by age, but by experience. Gray eyes that held stories he never told, scars hidden beneath the fabric. He was here for one reason, to find a silver locket, something simple to mark what would have been his 10th wedding anniversary with Anna, his wife who'd lost her battle with cancer 2 years ago. The weight of her memory was heavier than the Chicago cold, a constant ache in his chest. The store's atmosphere shifted the moment he entered. Conversations faltered, heads turned. Customers paused mid-sentence, their eyes flicking over his uniform, some with curiosity, others with thinly veiled disdain. Laura Bennett, the store manager, stood behind a glass counter, her sleek black dress and sharp bob haircut as impeccable as the displays around her. At 28, Laura was the picture of polished confidence, her smile practiced but cold. She scanned Ethan from head to toe, her gaze lingering on the Purple Heart, then narrowing as if she'd already decided his worth. She leaned toward Chloe, a younger sales associate with kind eyes and a nervous habit of tucking her hair behind her ear, and muttered, "What's he doing here? Looks like he's lost on his way to a costume party." Chloe glanced at Ethan, then back at Laura, her voice hesitant. "Maybe he's a customer. He's got a medal. That's real, right?" Laura smirked into a smirk, loud enough for all to hear. "Real. Probably bought it online to impress someone. This isn't a surplus store." Ethan approached the counter, his boots silent on the marble, his posture rigid but not stiff, the kind of discipline that came from years of measured steps. "Good afternoon, ma'am," he said, his voice low and steady, like he was addressing a commanding officer. "I'm looking for a silver locket, something simple, heart-shaped if you have it." Laura's smile was thin, barely masking her skepticism. "Sir, this is Sterling Luxe. Our pieces are curated for a certain clientele. Our lockets start at $3,000. Perhaps you'd be more comfortable at a department store down the street." A couple browsing nearby, a man in a cashmere overcoat and a woman dripping in pearls, chuckled softly. The man, mid-50s with a smug grin, leaned to his wife. "Probably thinks that uniform gets him a discount. Bet he's just a parade soldier." The woman nodded, her voice loud enough to carry. "That metal's probably plastic. eBay is full of them." Ethan's jaw tightened, but his face remained unreadable. He set his kepi on the counter, deliberate, and met Laura's gaze. "I'd like to see what you have. I'm here to buy." Laura raised her eyebrow, crossing her arms. "Do you even know what our inventory costs? That uniform doesn't exactly scream high-end client. I'm trying to save you the embarrassment." Chloe shifted uncomfortably, her hands fidgeting with the velvet display cloth. "Laura, maybe we could just show him something. It won't take long." "Chloe, please." Laura snapped, not breaking eye contact with Ethan. "Sir, if you're serious, I'll need to see some ID and proof that metal's legitimate. We've had issues with people misrepresenting themselves." Ethan's hand paused on his kepi, his fingers brushing the fabric. The weight of their words pressed against him, not unfamiliar, but no less sharp. He faced judgment before on bases, in airports, even at Arlington, where tourists sometimes mistook his silence for arrogance. But today was different. Today was for Anna. "This isn't decorative," he said, his voice calm but edged with steel. "It was earned in Kandahar, 2012. My ID's in my wallet." He slid his military ID across the counter, his movements precise, controlled. Laura barely glanced at it, sliding it back with a flick of her wrist. "We'll verify that later. For now, I suggest you look elsewhere. You're making our customers uncomfortable." The couple laughed again, louder this time. The woman whispered, not bothering to lower her voice. "Security should check his pockets before he tries pocketing something." Ethan's grip on his kepi tightened, his knuckles whitening, but he didn't flinch. "I'm not here to cause trouble," he said. "Just show me a locket. It's for my wife. Today would have been our 10th wedding anniversary with Anna." Chloe's eyes softened, her hand pausing on the display cloth. That's really sweet," she said quietly. "I can show you." "Chloe," Laura cut her off, her tone sharp. "We don't have time for this. He's wasting our time and scaring off paying customers." In the far corner of the store, an older man in a tailored gray suit stood quietly examining a sapphire ring under the glass. Edward Hayes, 68, a retired Army general, had been listening. His silver hair caught the chandelier light, and his posture, though aided by a cane, still carried the weight of command. His weathered face held a flicker of recognition as he watched Ethan. Something about the younger man's voice, his bearing tugging at a memory from years ago. He stepped closer, his cane tapping lightly on the marble, his eyes narrowing as he tried to place it. Ethan's voice stayed steady, though the ache in his chest grew heavier. "I don't need your pity, ma'am. Just your inventory. A lockhead. That's all I'm asking for." Laura opened her mouth to reply, her lips parting in another dismissive retort. But the glass doors slammed open, shattering the tension. A man in a black hoodie stormed in, a ski mask pulled tight over his face, a .38 revolver shaking in his hand. "Everybody down!" he shouted, his voice raw with adrenaline, cracking at the edges. "Hands up now! Nobody moves!" Screams erupted. The couple in the corner dropped to their knees, the woman clutching her pearls, her face drained of color. Chloe froze, her eyes wide with panic, her hands gripping the counter. Laura backed against the wall, her confidence crumbling, her breath coming in short gasps. Frank, the security guard, an older man with a slight paunch, fumbled for his radio, his hands trembling so badly he dropped it, the plastic clattering across the floor. Ethan didn't move. He stood by the counter, his kepi still in hand, his eyes tracking the gunman's every twitch. The gunman swung the gun toward him, his hand unsteady, finger too tight on the trigger. "You, soldier boy, get on the floor now." Ethan's gaze didn't waver. He set his kepi down slowly, raising his hands, his voice calm, almost soothing, like he was talking down a spooked recruit. "Easy," he said. "No one needs to get hurt. Just tell us what you want." The gunman laughed, a sharp, nervous bark. "What I want. I want everything. In that case, he shoved a canvas bag toward Chloe, his gun jerking toward the display of diamond necklaces. Fill it. Rings, bracelets, all of it. Move. Chloe's hands shook as she fumbled with the lock on the case, dropping a key that skittered across the counter. The gunman cursed, stepping closer, his gun waving dangerously. Faster, or I swear I'll start shooting. Laura whimpered, sliding to her knees behind the counter, her voice barely audible. Please, just take it. Take whatever you want. Ethan's eyes flicked to the gunman's stance, feet too wide, shoulders tense, gripped sloppy. Amateur, dangerous, but sloppy. He'd seen worse in Kandahar where split-second decisions meant life or death. He took a slow step forward, his hand still raised, his voice steady. All right, he said,